All right, our next couple examples, we're going to look still for GCF first. So we're looking for all 4 pieces. Is there something that goes into all of these? And I just want to give you a little thought process right here, because the actual GCF for this one, I think, is one of the tougher things to check for. So first, noticing that they're all even is a good place to start, so you know that 2 goes into them. If 2 works, I then always check 4. And if you knew the divisibility tricks from last week, you just have to look at the last 2 numbers. I know 4 goes into 20, I know 4 goes into 44, 80, and 4 goes evenly into 100. So if I subtract one group of 4, I know 4 is going to go into 96. And if 4 works, I usually go through and I try dividing each of these by 8 and see if that works as well. I kind of keep doubling. So 8 does actually work here, but I just want to show you what would happen if you didn't get the GCF as high as you possibly could for the first time. So what if you only realized that 4 went in, and we also realized that there's an A in each one of these? So let me just divide through real quick by 4A for each of these pieces and show you how you can double check yourself and how to adjust. Excuse me. So 120 divided by 4 is going to give me 30, and it's going to knock it down to an 8 to the third. Negative 144 divided by 4 is going to give me 36. And you can double check these in a calculator. I did a similar thing. Negative 80 divided by 4 is going to give me 20. And then 96 divided by 4 is going to give me 24A. So if you scan all these numbers again, you're going to see they're all even, which means I could have taken out another 2 from all of these. And if I bring another 2 out, 2 times 4 brings me to an 8A that I've actually taken out from here. So this is actually 8A. And then this is going to knock this down to 15, 18, 10, and 12. And that guy shouldn't have an A on it because we divided it out. So I just wanted to show you that it's okay if you don't get to the actual greatest common factor in the first try. You can adjust and then just make sure that you multiply whatever you're dividing out the second time with this. Okay? But besides that, this is all the same situation that we've already been looking at. So we're going to look at line, line, line here. And we're going to take a GCF out of 15A to the third and 18A squared. Hopefully you've started to realize that it ends up being A squared a lot for these first 2. I do know that 3 goes into both of these numbers as well because I can add their digits. Again, those divisibility tricks are really awesome from last week. If you didn't have a chance to look at them, I really would encourage you to do so. Then we're going to take out that 3A squared, and it's going to leave us with 5A minus 6. And then for the second part here, I am definitely going to take out a negative. And then these are both even, so I'm going to take out a 2. And you can think ahead a little bit. I know that 12 divided by negative 2 is going to give me a negative 6. So I should be getting and looking forward there to see if I get the same numbers. And I absolutely am going to. So I have a factor of 5A minus 6. I have a factor of 3A squared minus 2, which is from here, 3A squared minus 2. And then I can't forget about that 8A. That's also one of my factors. Okay? So, kind of cool. Let's look at another one where we're taking out a little bit of a bigger GCF. Right? This looks a little intimidating. There's a ton of letters going on. There's pretty high numbers going on. Again, I recognize they're all even. So I know 2 goes into all of them, in which case I would definitely want to check to see if 4 works, and it does in this case. And then the other thing that they all have, that has B and U, B and V, XBU, XBV, so I can definitely take out a B. And if you just scan your exponents, I have 4, 4, 2, and 2. That means the most I could take out is a b squared. So 4b squared, removed from each of these. We're going to divide it out and see what we're left with. And then we'll just double check to make sure that's the highest, greatest common factor we could hit. Sorry, my handwriting a little goofy today. So if I divide this here, I'm going to get 12. There's still going to be a b squared left and a u. I got a plus sign in between those. This guy is going to give me 21. There's still b squared left and a v. Negative sign. 80 divided by 4 is going to be 20. I still have an x. The b squared knocks out, and I have the u minus, and then this is going to give me 35. There's still an x, and there's still a v. So give yourself a second and double check these. Right away, I know 3 goes into here, here, and here. Oh, nope, 3 doesn't go into that guy, and 3 doesn't go into that guy, so that can't work. Yeah, this looks like the biggest GCF we could take out. Awesome. So now we can do the grouping piece, which is focusing in on those two and finding a GCF, and focusing in on these two and finding a GCF. Okay, so 12 and 21, I know that 3 goes into both of those, and they both still have a b squared. So I'm going to remove that as well. So if I take out a 3b squared, that's going to leave me with, and remember, we're just dividing here. So 4, the b squareds knock out, and I have a u. And if you want to actually physically knock those out, you can. And then 21 divided by 3 is 7, and there's still a v left over. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of backwards thinking here. I know that I want whatever's in my second set of parentheses to be identical to this guy. I want this to be 4u plus 7v. So if I compare and work a little backwards here, I know I need to take out a negative because this first term is negative, and because this being positive, it's going to have to switch signs. So I'm going to take out a negative, and I am only left with u and v, so I know I have to take out an x. And then if you're not sure what number works, you can use your multiplication table to help you, or you can do 35 divided by 7, 20 divided by 4, and you should get the same number, which is 5. So just in case you can't figure out what the factors are, you can kind of work backwards here, okay? And so then we have 4u plus 7v. We have our 3b squared minus 5x. And then, of course, we don't want to forget the 4b squared from the top. All right?